All right, second take. Hello. My name's Christian. Um, I'm making this video just to talk about stuff about music. I been kind of wanting to make this video for a while. Even if it's just senseless, like you know, not even senseless, nonsense of just rambling about just music stuff. Um, it's just something I always kind of put out. It's whether people take whatever I say uh seriously, or they ever like if they even gain something from it or not. It's I feel like you should always like put your word out, so I'm gonna try to put my word out. um so yeah, I play guitar, bass, and a little bit of piano. I'm not a really good piano player. You know I'm just now learning in the past year, and I haven't been learning through a teacher or anything. I've been learning from just just experience, just watching people. You'd be surprised how much you can pick up by just watching and listening. It's a wild thing. But I guess this first topic I want to talk about is stuff like, I guess, when new musicians are coming into when they come into either buying their guitars, or you know songwriting for the first time, or just even learning like a few chords. That's kind of like the main topic of this video. um I guess the first topic is, not to keep trying to make this professional, it's not at all. I'm rambling all over the place. I guess first thing I want to talk about is gear. There's this You hear the stigma a lot, maybe more when you like actually start playing and you start looking up like YouTube videos on like guitar and stuff like that. But it's a really big thing that I still see for some reason, and it kind of annoys me. It's buying an expensive guitar for your first guitar. You don't need an expensive guitar. You just don't. Like when you're starting off, you know, there's no reason to buy, a $1,500 Strat. There's no need. You don't. There's there. You're not to that level to utilize that instrument enough. So why bother buying it? Because it looks cool, yeah. But there's a lot of cheap guitars that just look cool, and at this point thing, ugh, at this point also, you're just learning the instrument. Okay, you're gonna sound like shit. Like, I don't mean like the dog, people down from starting off guitar, but you're gonna sound bad. This is how it is. You're learning something new. It's like hearing someone blow into a saxophone for the first time. That bitch is gonna be squealing. And it's gonna be the same thing when you start a guitar. You're gonna try to put your fingers on that fretboard and try to even play a note, and you're just not. But that's what practice comes in, and it takes time, and you don't need a more than off like a $500 guitar to like practice on. I literally learned off of I forgot what the brand is, like a Samick acoustic guitar. It was a plug-in, which I thought was cool, but this thing was $60. I mean, there was a dead fret on the eighth fret. Like, I couldn't even utilize that thing completely that well. Um, but it teaches me the foundations and just like the basic uh bread and butter of guitar. And that's basically what you are learning in the first like month or two when guitar is. You're just learning how to like just work a guitar just in general, so you don't need you know a expensive ass purchase. And also that comes with other types of gear like your amps and pedals. You probably shouldn't even be messing with pedals yet. I mean, like, you can. They're mad fun, and hey, actually no. Buy a little cheap pedal. Pedals can be cheap. You can buy Amazon Basic pedals. Like, I didn't even know they had those until like last year. But like, you can buy like cheap stuff, but like don't go for that, $200 Boss, expensive overdrive pedal. I mean, there's just no need. Like, it's not gonna make you sound any better. You're still learning guitar. So, just like watch out for those expensive ass purchases. Like and even with your amps, you don't need a $600 orange box, amp. You can settle for, you know, whatever cheap amps they are. I'm not very fond with amps. You got like Squires or like Lions or like amps. You can settle for like a little box ish kind of amp. I mean, that's what I learned from, and it served me well. And then, hey, if you get better at a guitar and you start learning and want to improve, once you reach that skill level, yeah, I say go for it. Buy yourself a decent guitar. But like when you're starting off, just watch out for those expensive purchases. You just don't need them. Yeah, like I talked about how I had a cheap guitar, but I mean, once I got good enough, and also when I had the money, I bought me a Squire Mustang, and that thing is beautiful. It's a Squire, and people rip on Squire because crap, like quality and whatnot. But you can be surprised if you buy like a decent like mid-range Squire, you can get a lot of good sound out of that. Great quality too. Like I've only had to only ever turn into the music shop once, and that's because this apartment doesn't have the best weather control. When it's hot, it gets super hot. When it's cold, it turns into a goddamn freezer. So that will fuck up your instrument. Um, but yeah, I turned it in, maybe paid $60, and they made it sound like it was new. So uh, that's kind of off topic, but either way, that's the basis. Is you gotta really not go trigger happy on all the expensive gear because you just don't need it. So the next topic would probably be about actually learning guitar, like beginning guitar. When you're delving right into the instrument. A lot of people ask me, what's the first thing you learn on guitar? I say open chords. You should probably learn open chords. It's the quickest way to learn not only songs, but it'll give you a feel of like your strumming, how your fingers placing or placement is, and also just it you know overall, it's just probably the best way I think to start off. Because I notice a lot of people who like first start off, they try learning scales, and especially if you're a self learner, if you try going off of scales, you're probably gonna get bored. I know a lot of people who get bored off of just trying to learn scales like in the beginning, and then just drop guitar just completely. I'm like, you know, you should probably like learn some open chords because it's the quickest way to get to songs and jamming out with other people if you have someone to jam out with, because that's also very fun when you're first starting off. I would say maybe throw in some scales, like in like your mean like your like extra time. I'd say like like side exercises. I say when you're starting off, because scales will help you more with your fundamentals. Um, but chords, you can delve right in. You learn three chords, and you can start jamming out to some of the most like easy pop songs like known to man. You learn C, D, and G. You can learn a lot of Beatles songs. You learn you know E, A, and B minor seven, or even like D. You can play some of the like most of like the blues. You know, so that's a good way to like start off, I would say. Also, learn what you want to learn. Like learn the songs that you want to play. If there's a song that you're trying to learn and you just don't like it, then just don't learn it. Like that's the whole thing about like guitar and like learning how to play and getting into it is you get when you learn an instrument, you get the ability to basically do whatever you want with it. So why not do something you like with it? If people are telling you to like, oh, you should learn some Beethoven, Symphony '06. Like, no, like if you don't fuck with that shit, then don't fuck with it. Learn whatever you're into. It's like, but in reason, obviously. Don't expect to like your first song to learn is, Master of Puppets, that you're gonna need some time on that. That's gonna be that takes a little bit of more experience than your typical beginner. But maybe learn something more similar. Maybe like the what is it called? Like Nothing Else Matters. That could be a simple one. If you learn the simple version, like a open chord version, that'd be a fun one to play. But don't expect to just, or don't try to learn something that crazy, because you end up just not gonna learn it, and you're just gonna lose interest. Also, another good thing is take a break every once in a while. Don't you can probably you can benefit a lot from playing only like an hour each day. Guitar doesn't have to be, especially if you're doing it just for a hobby, it doesn't need to be like this intensive exercise. It doesn't have to be your fucking 5K, marathon. You can take it out for a jog, you know, play for an hour. Yeah, hell, even 30 minutes. As long as you even like pick up the guitar and start strumming and maybe like even like voicing out a few notes, that's more than enough. That's more than like what most people do. And even if it's the same stuff, if you're like if you get stuck in a little rut and you're only stuck on those three chords, play those three chords, because you will only get better at playing those three chords. It only benefits you. When I first started out, the first three chords I knew were like E, A, and G. Now those chords can go together, but sometimes they just don't. So, but I still, this is the only good chords I know, so I just kept playing them. And now, like, I can play them no problem. I can play them with my eyes closed. That's how like comfortable I am. And not that it's like a big feat or anything, but it's that's what you're trying to work towards too. So, like, take your time. Don't rush into it. Don't try to learn five million different ways of how to play a C. Just learn. Try maybe learning three chords off. Just for the beginning. Don't try to go anything crazier. And once you get comfortable with those three chords, learn another chord. Then learn another chord. It's like playing a game. Once you beat that game, there's some DLC. Buy the DLC and play that. It's kind of, my analogies ain't the greatest. I'd also say after you get done learning your open chords, you can move on to something a little bit more complex, like bar chords. You learn your major and your minor bar chords. It's the same shape basically, um, but you learn those, and then that even opens up even more of ability to just play, whatever, and especially because a lot of people play like bar chords, so there's a lot to learn off of those, I would say. And they're also not the hardest thing to understand once you learn your open chords. So don't be too like intimidated by them, when you get into them. I think that's all I really want to talk about today. If you do find this video, first, hi. Also, thank you for watching. Listen to some chubby dude just talk about whatever he wants for what, like 15 minutes. I don't even know. Um, but yeah. Hopefully, I brought some kind of insight. Again, this is also my first time making like a video, so sorry if my like speech is not the best. I've noticed when recording I do slur a lot, so you know please excuse that. Also, I mean, if anybody has any feedback, not just about the how I speak, but just the video itself, I love to hear it. I'm always open to other people's thoughts and whatnot. Like again, I'm just some dude who just learned guitar by himself. I'm only sharing what I know, and there's a lot to know in the music world. I'd like to probably make another one of these videos. I want to talk about a few things, like maybe the stuff I have. Like I have a few little, instruments I like my instruments I played. I would like to show off a little bit, and like show why I bought them and whatnot. Another video would be kind of cool, or a topic to speak on would be me being in the band. That's definitely an experience and kind of a decent story too. So that'd be kind of fun to hash out a little bit. But anyways, again, thank you for watching, whoever finds this, and have a good night, I guess.